Hello, Pride. This is the last Leo welcoming you back or welcoming you for the first time. This channel is all about Black Indigenous spirituality, surviving modernity and late stage capitalism, radical self-sustainability, and body-mind alignment. So let's get into it. Today's episode of The Lion's Den is really special because it's the first episode of Hoodoo Heritage Month, which is happening right now this October, and it's the perfect time of the year for it because this is the time of the year where the veil between this world and others is the thinnest. In addition to that, it's also Fannie Lou Hamer's birthday, and for those of you who don't know, Fannie Lou Hamer was a civil rights activist from the Mississippi Delta. She was super instrumental in getting Black folks in the South registered to vote and spoke at the 1964 Democratic National Convention. As a matter of fact, President Lyndon B. Johnson actually interrupted her speech with his own nonsensical broadcast because he was afraid of her ability to rally up the country. Fannie Lou Hamer was an amazing speaker and vocalist, and she so happens to be my actual kin. I also grew up in Rubel, Mississippi, on the street that she lived on. Fannie Lou Hamer is one of Hoodoo's elevated ancestors. So I say all this to say it is really exciting for me to be able to bring you this video on today. As you can probably guess by the title, I want to talk today about Hoodoo's importance to Black folks in the United States. And even just saying that, it already feels like a complete undervaluing of how important Hoodoo is for Black folks in what we now know as the United States. And the reason it feels like such a devaluing is because Hoodoo is not some extra thing. It is not just something that we do. It's not a side thing. There is not even as much distance between Black folks and Hoodoo the way that there is between many different groups of people and their own religious practices. It sounds a little cliche, but Hoodoo is really a way of life. It is quintessentially everything that it means to be Black in this world. And it's extremely crucial for us as a community to know about Hoodoo and understand it, because all of the generations that were here before us and that made it possible for us to be here, they wouldn't have made it without Hoodoo. That's not just conjecture, it's not anywhere close to an exaggeration. Without Hoodoo, our ancestors, Black enslaved folks, and all of the people that have come before us wouldn't be here, and thus we wouldn't be here. I've used my social media to speak about Hoodoo for a while now, and no matter what I would say, it always felt to me like it kept falling short. Like I wasn't really getting to the meat of what Hoodoo is to the Black community. So the Lion's Den is dedicated to getting to that meat, or that root, if you will. It's all about me using my training as a scholar in the academy, as well as my lived experience as a Black person, as a queer Black person, and as a Black Southerner, to give a sort of overview on what Hoodoo actually is and how much it really means to us as a people. You may have seen an article here or there on Vice or on Vox about Black women, quote unquote, returning to Black ancestral practices in droves. And that is a trend that is definitely very noticeable right now because of the way that Conjure and Hoodoo is migrating to the digital sphere. But even deeper than that, Black folks are, quote unquote, returning to these practices in droves because we really are starting to understand that the methods for connecting with each other and with the world around us in the way that our intuition and our spirit is telling us to do can't be found in other places. It really only can be found in the practice of Hoodoo. A lot of the trash that people have come up with to say about Hoodoo and Conjure and other Black ancestral traditions is really founded on a complete misunderstanding of how enslaved Africans reacted to their enslavement. What most won't tell you is that Black folks resisted enslavement every step of the way, and we were only able to do so because we made efforts to stay connected to these spiritual systems and these spiritual ways of being. It's very intentional the way that our ability to make a way out of no way has been hidden over the centuries of our presence in the Western Hemisphere. So some of the core themes that come part and parcel with the hoodoo practice are the ideas of playing the hand you're dealt, using whatever you have at your disposal to change your reality, and just seeing beauty in your struggle. And while it is necessary in a hoodoo practice to see beauty in your struggle, struggle is not prescribed. It is not unavoidable. It is not our destiny. Hoodoo has helped us endure enslavement and its aftermath because it has taught us how to tap into other worlds where we can get the things we're not getting from this one. In future episodes of The Lion's Den, I will be going through different hoodoo texts, including the Bible, which we will talk about a little more as the time comes. And I'm really going to be explicating, using my own training and my own expertise, a type of living word that can define a hoodoo existence. I want to wish my community peace and love on this day and for the rest of this month, and I will see you next week.